I just made a ramble about Kingdom Hearts getting ported properly and natively to Nintendo Switch. And I need to play Kingdom Hearts so I can get footage for that, because I literally haven't played Kingdom Hearts in a good minute, right? But that's the thing, right? It's kind of, normal to be in like a Kingdom Hearts drought, and I'm just kind of looking away from the series right now because, as it's still my favorite series. I absolutely love it to death, and I can't wait for 4, don't get me wrong. But as of right now, I just haven't been looking at it much because there's just not much else to garner. With Missing Link completely kaput, there's nothing else to really look forward to until 4, and we have absolutely no idea when that's going to be, considering the fact that all we got was a couple of screenshots that still look like it could be relatively early in the game, which means we don't actually know how far into development they are. Hopefully they should be around the super far, or maybe nearing the finish line at the very least. But regardless, it's probably going to be a while before we actually hear anything major about Kingdom Hearts 4. Fine, whatever, take your time, do what you gotta do, right? So here we are, just sitting twiddling our thumbs, and I just was thinking about how, over the last year, I've seen on Twitter, whenever it would pop up, a lot of people are, going through the Kingdom Hearts franchise for the first time, and they seem to really, really be enjoying Kingdom Hearts 3, right? And that's great, honestly, because Kingdom Hearts 3 is a good-ass game. You're not convincing me that Kingdom Hearts 3 is a bad game by any means. It's not perfect, there's definitely some cracks in it. And, there was definitely a lot more bias in the early days about it because, there was a lot of people, me included, that definitely couldn't allow it to be anything other than perfect in a way in our minds. And, I didn't argue with anybody. I'm just saying, I was fully convinced that the game was just absolutely, completely perfect, immaculate, untouchable, right? That's not the case. It definitely has its flaws. It's absolutely not perfect, but I still absolutely adore it, and I love that game. It's so much fun. It's so well made, and it is easily one of my favorites. Definitely a contender for my favorite in the franchise, next to 2, right? Now, here's the thing. With all of the resurgence of people really enjoying Kingdom Hearts 3 for the first time, because, they're just kind of playing through it without anybody in their ear telling them that Kingdom Hearts 3 sucks and all that, they're having a good time with it, and that's great. But what I've noticed is that when somebody has the time to play through Kingdom Hearts as a franchise and actually get to 3 and at their own pace, they seem to be able to enjoy it a lot more, right? I do feel like a lot of the initial discourse from Kingdom Hearts 3 as a finale to the major Darkseeker Saga arc, a lot of that discourse for sure stemmed from the fact that we had to wait so insanely long. 2013 to 2019 is not a lightweight wait, right? We were waiting nearly a decade, technically longer, because we didn't know that Dream Drop Distance was even going to be a thing like that. But we had to wait a very long time for Kingdom Hearts 3. And at least with Kingdom Hearts 3, we had consistent updates. We had little, things here and there, little not screenshots per se, but we got some trailers here and there. And, even when they reset development, when we finally got another glimpse of it, it did look different. We were getting, a new trailer every couple of months and stuff like that. We were kind of eating good, We still had to wait a very long time. And because of that wait, it hurt a lot of people's perceptions of the game, right? My point here that I'm trying to make is that people had bizarrely high expectations for Kingdom Hearts 3 because of how long it took. And I can't necessarily blame those people for having those expectations, because when we're made to wait for a game that long, you're just sitting there festering. You're thinking, this game has to be the bee's goddamn knees to be this long in development, for us to have to wait this long to go from, I was in middle school to put it in perspective, I was in middle school when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced. I was well and graduated from high school, 2 years graduated from high school when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. That's a long wait, dude. That's like a good fat chunk of, that's a good like 30% of my life so far or something. I'm not good at math. But, you know, when you have to wait that long, your expectations are going to be absolutely through the roof. It makes sense for people to have been like that. You know, it makes sense for people to have made these absolutely insanely long essays talking about how this should have been like this or this should have been like that. They had certain expectations of ways that it should have happened in their head, and they were severely disappointed when things didn't pan out that way. And it's like, yeah, you know, Nomura has made it clear that he's always willing to change the script if he sees a vision that he feels is a much better direction for his games. He does not shy away from stuff like that. And so, you know, maybe he had a certain vision when we got Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance and, you know, everything in between, but you know, that vision could definitely have changed, especially when you have to completely scrap and restart development in a brand new engine. It makes sense that things changed along the way, and that's totally fine. But because of that change, because of, you know, a lot of vision changes and a lot of just waiting and things like that, people had a certain expectation for Kingdom Hearts 3, an expectation that likely wasn't met because they had so long to sit on it, and when they finally got their hands on it, they didn't see what they wanted to see, and instead of, you know, appreciating what was there and, you know, really taking it for what it was meant to be, you know, taking it as Nomura's vision, they trashed on it and hated on it because it wasn't their vision, you know. And again, like I said, this isn't even me. We're 6 years out now from Kingdom Hearts 3 being released. I'm not even being biased at this point. Like I said, this game has flaws, and there's no denying that, you know. A lot of these people, a lot of these essays that I've seen, they've made some decent points, you know, they've made some very solid points, but there's a lot of points that I've noticed that were simply just, you know, why was it like this? Why wasn't it like this? That was just you wanting it to be a certain way, and it wasn't. That's not the game's fault. That's your fault for having, you know, certain expectations, you know? And, you know, it makes sense that it was like that, which is why when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm a little nervous. I think you can see where I'm going with this. Kingdom Hearts 4, with this long wait, with this absolutely insane just radio silence. The only thing of us having, we've had one full trailer that probably doesn't even apply anymore at this point. The game looks so different now. We've had one trailer and 8 screenshots or something. People's expectations of Kingdom Hearts 4 are probably rising every second. You know what I mean? Like, it's a long wait of radio silence to not just kind of sit here and fester and not have any form of expectations of our own imaginations to, you know, feed on, because that's all we've got right now. We don't have anything else to work with. So I'm a little nervous that people are going to look for Kingdom Hearts 4 and look at it a certain way, and when we do inevitably get it, they're not going to see it the way that they wanted, and it's just not going to look good. And, you know, it depends on the person, you know, the average Joe, whatever, but like, you know, if reviews aren't looking crazy and stuff like that, it's just going to hurt the future of the franchise, and that scares me a little bit, you know. Maybe this is just me getting in my own head. Maybe this is me having expectations of people that are completely wrong, you know. But I don't know, people are infuriating sometimes in how they operate, and unfortunately it's kind of hard for me not to imagine a situation. I mean, you know, maybe it's because I'm a Sonic fan, maybe that's it, I don't know. But, you know, I'm just a little nervous that people are definitely going to want Kingdom Hearts 4 a certain way. They're not going to get that, and they're going to bash on it because of that. And, you know, the franchise doesn't look as, you know, bright in its future as it did once before. And all because it took a little too long with no communication whatsoever from the team, you know. And again, this is me saying this, a month out from getting a couple of screenshots. I mean, again, I don't think it's crazy to think that a couple of screenshots is still kind of ridiculous after, you know, losing an entire game that was supposed to be very heavy on lore and story and information that might have helped us at least have something to chew on, so that when we did inevitably get Kingdom Hearts 4, we could, you know, have our theories that actually, you know, mean something or make sense, you know, as opposed to just having absolutely nothing and just not knowing at all what we're going into with this. It's just ridiculous. Because again, at least with Kingdom Hearts 3, we had a lot of stuff in between. We had a lot of stuff in between, especially when it comes to feeding on content from Kingdom Hearts UX. Even if Kingdom Hearts UX wasn't the greatest thing of all time as a mobile title, it still gave us something to work with. We were still getting consistent updates. We were still getting, you know, new lore information and characters and things to just think about. Just Kingdom Hearts content to just stew in while waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3. We do not have that at all for Kingdom Hearts 4. And it's funny because Kingdom Hearts Union Cross is now just completely unavailable unless you watch it on YouTube. Like, it's just wiped off the map. Crazy situation that. So yeah, I don't know. I can't help but feel a little fearful as to what the future of Kingdom Hearts is going to look like if we aren't careful with how, you know, we start talking about this game. Or I say we, I mean them, you know. You know, hopefully the advertisement phase comes in soon and the game doesn't come too far after that, because I don't know, to go through three major video game announcement events and have completely nothing, it's just asinine. Just asinine, you know. Like, I love to believe that what they're saying is true and that development is going great and that they're, you know, they're still working on it, and, you know, that's cool and all, but like, couple pictures isn't going to do anything for us. It didn't do anything for very long, at the very least, you know. We ate on that for a good minute and then just back to silence, and that's just maddening. You know, you can only stew in something for so long before the pot starts burning a little bit too much, you know. So we'll have to see what comes out of that, but I don't know. I think this is definitely one of the ones where I'm definitely in over my head a little bit, and maybe I just don't have as much faith in the people as I should. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But that's enough on me. I'm passing the mic over to you guys, and I want you guys to tell me everything that you're thinking in the comment section below. Do you think I have something here, and that maybe because of the long wait, people's expectations may be a little bit through the roof, and that their expectations may eventually develop to be something a little more unrealistic, and that might hurt Kingdom Hearts 4 in the future? Or am I just being absolutely unrealistic? I'm absolutely insane for even thinking this way. Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be just fine, and it doesn't really matter what other people think. Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, it does appear to be skedaddle o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the good favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gone. So thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the good favor, taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Doing donuts in a bin. I stay funky. Battle goes wherever I am. I stay funky. I don't know who's ready to spit. Just know you're going down with my 58 clips. I stay funky. Honey's taking back to the crib. I stay funky. Get the club popped off like pain. I stay funky. I don't know.